In today's episode of Chaos to Calm, Decluttering My House, we are working on the office desk. I had quite a few different places in this video that we will get through because there wasn't quite enough from just this spot, thank goodness. I feel like that's some sort of a win, but it is going to jump around a little bit because we have a few different places we're working on. But for now, we're starting here in the drawers and they are always chaos. As you can see, there is no rhyme or reason to how anything is organized in these drawers, and I have truly put absolutely no effort into organizing these. I mean, do I even need to say that? So, of course, we have every cord that has ever come with anything we've ever bought, and we have stationery. We have all random stuff that I don't even know that we own. And my goal was just to declutter as much as I could with the cords because I don't know what to do with them. I try to keep one of everything. And then if we have duplicates, they can go because it's hardly ever that we're going to reach for extra cords. And I just don't need to hold on to that many. Unless they're phone charging cords, I don't care, okay? All of them can go because we never reach for them. We never use them. So I'm definitely not going to hold on to multiples of them. Also, we are accompanied by the rain tonight. If you hear that, consider it some ambiance for you. I did have that white organizer that I bought from Kmart in this drawer. As you can see, she does not fit at all. Has never worked for this situation. And I am in need of some organizing drawers, containers, whatever to fit inside this. An insert, if you will. I think that's the word. This is an IKEA Alex drawer, so maybe IKEA does have the fitted inserts for these. I just have to go and make that a priority, which, it's definitely not on the list, so it probably won't happen anytime soon. But I continued on with just going through the supplies that my husband had. This is his desk, so I did what I could. I did check with him, obviously, before I actually throw anything out because we don't want to cause marital problems over here, alright? But there wasn't much in here that needed to be thrown out because it was mostly just stuff that he doesn't really use but still needs to hold on to, i.e. all the supplies for when he does a uni course or anything else like that. Just things that I don't want to have to rebuy, like staples, pencils, you get it. Also, I'm only doing a quick little cleaning job. I did not have the energy to wipe anything down, so I just used my vacuum, which is another story I could get into. Currently, she is blowing air instead of sucking the air up. I don't know what happened. All I know is she fell off the side of the wall that I had her leaning up against, and now she seems to be a little bit backwards. Might be time to put her out of her misery, but for now, I'm vacuumless. I've definitely had the thought process to try and make all our office supplies, look succinct, look cute, all of that. But I have two little kids, right? And they will always get through all of our stuff. I mean, first of all, look at that chaos of the cords back there. I'll deal with that in a minute. But yeah, I have two little kids and they love to take off with the sticky tape and the scissors and whatever. So right now is not that kind of life. Like, I just won't be able to have something like that. But maybe in the future it'll look all cute and whatever. These are just a storage container from Kmart that I found. I think it was near the travel section. Kind of pricey. They were $10 for two of them. And I debated whether to get these big ones or like they have smaller, almost like little coin purse size ones. And I was trying to toss up between the two of them. But ultimately, I went the bigger one and I am actually glad that I got that because it fit everything perfectly. Because as you can see, even after me going through them, we still had a ton of cords and random little pieces in here. And I thought also about they had black or like a pinkish colored ones that you couldn't see through. And I thought that might be a nice idea if you didn't actually want to see the cords at all. But I feel like I need the clear one just to remind myself that all that junk is back there in case we need something. So I did go for the clear route. And I still have a second one. It was a 2-pack and I thought I was going to use it later on. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But I definitely need to go back through these drawers and see if something else can be organized in here because, I don't know, I really enjoyed using those little containers and everything is so nice when it's not floating around in the drawers. So we've moved on to the second drawer and as you can see we have lots of random little bits. These are my favorite little cord organizers. You can get them off Temu, you can get them from Kmart, you can get them from probably Alibaba, Shein, anywhere like that, and I just use them to stick all our cords in to try and keep it a little bit more organized. I do have them set up on my bedside tables. Let me tell you, how often do I actually use it? Not that often, But do I like having it when it is like that? Absolutely. It's like the option is always there, right? So if I do want to have it hung up on the little hook, I can do that. But we do usually rip it out within like an hour or so because one of us needs to charge our phone or something like that. So anyway, we had tons and tons of those little booklets because my husband likes to be a gamer or likes to think that he's a gamer anyway. And we just have lots of the extras that have come with headsets or computer bits. So I was like, I just need to get rid of them. Is that okay? And he was fine with it. So they're all gone, thank goodness. This was a design I had for the arch shelving system I have in my dining room. And I'm leaving it here as a visual memory for myself that when I do the dining room, that's somewhat what I'd like it to look like. I'm not great with styling shelves. It's not my thing. So I definitely needed that as a guideline. Anyway, I pretty much cleared out this entire drawer, which made me so happy because I think before we started, just about every single drawer was full to the brim of crap. Like, I mean, just stuff that we didn't need. And so whenever I try to put something in there, and same with hubby if he tried to put something in there, there's no space, right? And like, we don't use any of it ever. I mean, never in my life do I go there. So, and now that my husband has finished studying, he doesn't need half the papers that were floating around in the drawers. So, very nice to be able to be rid of these. This particular drawer had a lot of stuff that I'd forgotten about, which is basically just the pictures that I had designed for the living room because my husband is a visual person. He cannot imagine something in his head where I can, so I made that for him. And I think he's understood that I have an eye for design and I can do something and make it look nice. So I'm like, just let me have free reign now. I'm not going to do this every single time for you. We don't need that. Anyway, excuse that I look like absolute trash here. I thought I was only going to film my hands and you wouldn't actually see that I look like garbage. And, well, I apparently moved the camera back. You can see that I look horrific anyway. As I was saying, this was all the random things like the living room design that I wanted, and actually my style has changed quite a bit from this. This is very much just like Pinterest white, whereas I feel like I've shifted a little more towards black, white, like, you know, more of a natural kind of element. And this is my notebook. On that first page I had written salmon like 4 times. I was like, okay, we must be eating salmon that week. It's a little bit insane. And then the rest of this I just kind of threw out. This Montessori book, I thought it was alright, but nothing like too noteworthy there. You can sort of find similar stuff online. This was a cleaning chart I was going to use to make videos. I had made this years ago, and it was just to kind of like keep on top of the whole house, but also to make videos with for video ideas, but it never came to fruition. Anyway, if I could move this whole desk situation somewhere else, I totally would and make this like a fun little kids corner, but alas, it is what it is. We don't have tons of space here, so he's gonna be in my living room for a bit. We definitely get the urge to move to a bigger home, something a little more spacious, but we're holding off because we do save a lot of money in this home, and a bigger home is probably $300 to $400 a fortnight more, and it's just not something we want. We want that money in our own bank account and not someone else's. So we are holding off, even though we get the urge. I'm like, honey, we need to delete the real estate app, okay? Because it is definitely the source of our woes. I feel like the more we look, the more sad we feel about us living in a small home, when for now it's all we need. There's definitely going to be a point where we're like, we big fish in a little pond, and I'm sure that time will come at some point, but for now we're just trying to be happy with where we are and not want more. So for the last few drawers we have a bit of a mess. It's all just random things like my little laminating machine, my husband's muscle massager, that's quite the tongue twister, and then just like random bits and pieces from like either keyboards or technology accessories that we haven't used. So I just went for a tidy. I was like, there's no way that this is going to become better organized. I'm using air quotes like you can see them. But I just was like, a tidy is all that matters, and just throwing out the garbage stuff, because this was half his technology drawer and half his fire starting stuff, like literal fire starters, matches, any kindling, all that kind of thing would just end up in here, which is not obviously the best situation. So I just felt like a clean out was the most appropriate action for this particular drawer. And so this is what we ended up with overall. Probably will never look at any of that stuff again, and then I'll declutter it in 2 years or so. That seems to be my path. Over on the other side, we just had boring paperwork, and so I didn't bring you in because there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't actually show you. So I'm just kind of flicking through it quickly, seeing what needed to be shredded, what I needed to save. And there was a lot of my husband's certificates. He gets a lot of like thank yous, a lot of appreciation certificates from his work, and so he wants all of them to put into his like I don't know what we call it, like a folder, like when you apply for jobs and stuff. You could call it a physical LinkedIn profile.
Every moment tonight, they led me to you. Every single time you look at me, I lose it too. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day, mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you're gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up for my sins? Now I'm lonely and it kills me. Can you hear me, babe? I'm lonely. I know you don't wanna talk, but just pick up the phone. We could go for a walk, talk about the things we know. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day, mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you're gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up?
So since we finished off the office desk pretty well, we then moved on to my hallway table, which seems to be something that I can never keep tidy, even if I try organizing it, because I feel like I did this maybe last year or so, even maybe 6 months ago, and it always sort of ends up in a horrific mess like this basically. And I am on the hunt for some sort of insert that will organize everything. I actually did buy one. I saw it for like $5 somewhere in the store and bought it on a whim, thinking it would fit, and it almost fits by like a slither. It was just a tad too big, and I'm just not sure if I can cut it because the material seems like it's plastic with felt lining. It's really nice. I actually put it in the desk drawers, and I'm going to use that to organize a little bit better in there because it fits perfectly in there. But yeah, I was so annoyed because I thought I was going to have this situation sorted out, because as you can see, I wasn't lying, it's horrific. I mean, it's basically just a second junk drawer to us. Anything and everything gets dumped here, and you know, it would do great if it was better organized. We have coins in here, we have cards in here, we have everything like Panadol, parfum, what else do we have in here? Pens, lip gloss, everything, okay? Even if it doesn't belong in here, that's where it lives now, okay? So I would love to find some kind of organization. I know At Home with Nikki is like on it, and she has little like kind of like little makeup bags almost, and stores things by category in there. I don't think I'm at that level. I just know I'm not proactive enough to keep it going like that. I'm sure I'll just end up dumping it on top, or like getting frustrated that I have to open something else to get to my stuff. But if I was that organized, I would be doing that. But I think for now, just some kind of desk drawer insert would work great, because we got a lot going on down here. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is not at all related to this cleaning video, but I just checked the weather app, and for the first time in 4, maybe 5 days, we finally have a sunny day. It has been non-stop rain. I mean, literally non-stop rain. Everything is absolutely soaked, and I'm so excited to have a sunny day for once and be able to get out. I feel like we've just sort of been stuck indoors, although we have been enjoying it, like I won't lie. We have definitely spent some cozy days inside on the couch watching movies because you know what, I will enjoy it with this weather. So as you can see, I am using this teeny tiny little pathetic Timu vacuum cleaner. I'm pretty sure it's for like a desk or something, but we had it in the office the desk my husband uses, and I was like, oh, this thing keeps falling apart. Like, you can literally see every 2 seconds the thing would pop up and all the dirt would just fall back out. I just felt like I was fighting a losing battle, but it looked a tiny bit better. I need to seriously work on my Dyson. I don't know what's going on with it. I think I talked about it in a different video, but so I couldn't vacuum this out properly and like make it look really nice. But that was the end result for that middle drawer. I definitely really need to find something to organize it properly because I know in like a week it's just gonna look horrific again. It's just the way of the world, darlings. Anyway, this is the drawer adjacent, and we have shapes for we have Christmas trees, we have honey harvesting equipment. Honestly, it's a smorgasbord of everything that, again, I don't want to deal with. It ends up here. So I did remove the honey harvesting kit. It's basically just the thing where the honey flows out of from the flow frames. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that's what it is. And my husband actually just bought another kit, and now we have like a million of those. So that's just fantastic. But spring is on her way for sure. The days are starting to heat up just a little bit, and I am here for it. So I'm sure those will get put to good use. I was showing you my only form of measuring around here. I have an iPhone, but I don't feel like she's quite accurate. So my measuring tape has been missing for so long. Yeah, my son made me that, and it's the cutest little thing ever. But I could not find my measuring tape anywhere, and I use it for just about everything, and I finally found it. We did have one of those retractable ones, like the proper like tool building ones. I don't know what you call it, but who knows what she is. It's probably with all the other crap that's missing. Finally found my high key sunglasses that have been missing for some time as well. They have a chokehold on me. These Uno cards have been floating around my house for some time, and by some time I mean years basically, and I decided it was gonna have its final resting place in this drawer because I was so sick of dealing with them. And if it goes in there, it gets hidden, and I'm like not picking them up off the floor all the time, if you get what I mean. But I don't have the heart to throw them out because even though we have absolutely no time to play games at the moment, I just don't want to get rid of them, and I'm sure my kids will enjoy it once they're a bit older, and it causes me no grievance to hold on to them in here. Like, look at that big stack. I can't just throw that out. Feels like such a waste, right? So I'm gonna hold on to it, and maybe for the once in a blue moon, my husband and I might actually play the game. But anyway, this drawer wasn't as successful, I'd say, but I guess it's alright because it's all stuff we use anyway. So I moved on down to the hallway. This has been bugging me this has been there for months, like start of the year, darling. And it was just taking up the hallway. And when I put stuff in my hallway, I quickly remember how frustrating it is to walk past all the time, but I still don't deal with it, okay? But that would just be too proactive if I actually dealt with it. Anyway, today was the lucky day that I finally tackled it because I had booked in one of those council pickups, curbside pickups, whatever they are called, to get rid of all this stuff because we were changing around my daughter's room and I needed the space. And I mean, what? Like, I don't need somewhere to dump crap in the middle of my house. So more than ready to say sayonara to that.
Say you love me, say you don't. Just give me something so I can move on. Pull me closer or push me away. Let me know if we'll be okay. 'Cause I can't stand another moment of you playing with my mind. tired of never knowing, so spell it out. 'Cause I won't stay awake till morning, I won't stay another night. If you're feeling something for me, say it now. 'Cause I can't wait for you forever. 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 'Cause I can't wait for you forever.
So these boxes were quite tedious to go through because they just had so much paperwork. And yes, I paid $10.99 for my fridge, and apparently I was so impressed with that 7 years ago that I've kept it all this time. But yeah, it was all just old paperwork and stuff that I needed to sift through, what had to be shredded and what just could go in the regular bin, and etc, etc. But I did enlist the help of my husband to help remove the furniture from the hallway. As you can see, there is a lot of dust there. She has been there for quite some time, and the bed also had to go. We were like, yeah, this phase is done for us. We are ready to move on. And I'm so glad because this is such bulky furniture in her room. We also got rid of a couple of other things like the rocking chair and what was the other big thing? I can't remember. I think, the footstool that was with the rocking chair. And it makes such a difference. I was in there, I'm like, I can actually move around. And it was just feeling like a weight before in there. And so I'm so happy that we managed to get rid of everything. And apparently I've just disappeared for a while. But then I went and tackled this little space in the hallway, which was basically just all the leftovers off of the change table that I had to keep but hadn't had the energy to deal with. Do we see a reoccurring theme here? Clearly, I can get halfway through a project before the adrenaline, the hyperfixation, everything cuts out and I'm left to myself to actually deal with it. So thankfully it didn't take me too long to sift through. It was mostly stuff that I had to move to other rooms, which, I've still got to do it in the other rooms. Don't tell anyone, okay? I've just dumped it in other places, but I will get there. I will. It's just there's so many other projects going on in my house at the moment, and just I need to slowly peel through everything. But the thing that was probably holding me back the most were these grey storage boxes. They had things that I just didn't know what I wanted to do with. I had some not so sentimental things in here. So I have still yet to work out what I actually want to do it. I've just moved the box to the garage because I'm like, this is not a now project. It's not something I know the instant answer to. So I've just left it, and then the rest of it I was able to either throw out or find its actual home. But I am so glad to A, have it out of my linen closet, and B, have it out of my hallway, okay? It feels fantastic. I'm so glad we got the space back from both areas because it is just a stress point for me. And I need the space. I've told you before in other videos that I was feeling like it was cramped in my house. And I mean, it's not a big home, but also it's not like an apartment where it's a little bit smaller. We have space, but I've just got to be functional with it. So anyway, I'm so glad that you could join us here for our second to last video, and I will see you in tomorrow's one.